Hey guys, it's Ben the Coin Geek at Old Pueblo Coin. Thanks for joining us today. Please remember to like, share, subscribe, all of the YouTube type things. And also remember to go to TucsonCoinshow.com to check out the Tucson Coin Show. And I hope to see you all in January enjoying the beautiful weather that Tucson has to provide while you are shoveling snow. So come on down, get out of the Midwest, come from the East Coast even, come and see Tucson. You're going to love it. Bring the wife. It's at a casino. She'll love it. You'll have fun. All right, today we have a mailbag. We're going to talk about what you're talking about. First of all, Peter's Quarter Life Crisis 887 enjoyed the interview. Thanks, Ben. Well, you're welcome. I always enjoy giving interviews, and honestly, I read this one because I love the name Peter's Quarter Life Crisis instead of Midlife Crisis. I'm not going to explain it any more than that. If y'all don't get it, then I don't know what we're doing here. All right, next up. Let's see, we've got Ken McKinley, 1526. I need to get my eyes checked. There we go. Here we go. The Lincoln Memorial. So we're talking about some designs for coins at this point. The Lincoln Memorial Reflecting Pool would be a nice reverse design. And if they're going to do DC Hero type coins, I would think that they would do U.S. sports teams first, like basketball, baseball, NFL. I'm from New Zealand, and I think jumping to D.C. is a bit far and wide. Keep to something Americans are more patriotic and supportive, and would be better. Make sport commemorative coins if you're going to go away from the norm. Any American who gets the Nobel Prize, the Medal of Honor, should get a coin made after them automatically. This is a really great commentary. Thank you. I was laughing at this because I was thinking it takes somebody from New Zealand to kind of point out things that should be obvious to me, so I appreciate that. So for those of you who haven't seen, the U.S. Mint is actually doing a series of coins with DC heroes on them, so cartoon heroes that you may know, starting back from the 50s, maybe, I don't know, you guys tell me, 40s? When did those comic books first start? 40s, right? All right, so the commentary that maybe putting iconic sports figures on coins that are not just commemoratives is actually something that makes sense from the U.S. standpoint. People in America love sports. It's become definitely the replacement for religion on Sundays, so they go and build their coliseums and their get their face paint on and have fun watching their sports teams. I think that makes sense as far as that goes. And then the additional commentary about people who received either a Medal of Honor or Nobel Prize. I think that would be a nice reward for them, but also I think that might be a little too esoteric for the collector or for the general public. But it would be nice, I guess, if you're going to be get a Medal of Honor, and then now you're going to be on a coin. I don't think that most of those guys really want to be on a coin, I would guess. Same with the Nobel Prize winners. I don't know that they're doing it to get onto a coin. But I like the way you're thinking here with stuff that is just something a little bit outside of the normative. A lot of countries that are going to the movie scene series, between your Star Wars movies or your Marvel, it's just not quite the same, I think, as what you could do. And so thanks for pointing out some of those ideas. Keep them coming. Anyone have any other ideas that you think would be good for U.S. circulating coinage that's kind of maybe a commemorative series, or just a commemorative series in general that's going to be something outside the norm? We'll take it. All right. Let's see. We've got Duardo. I'm going to stop reading these. Okay, how's that? Would you suggest buying 90% silver? Is there a value effect of the metal dividend? I don't know what the second part of that sentence means, but would you suggest buying 90% silver? So this is this weird thing that happened during COVID. 90% silver took off in value, but all silver took off in value. There was a shortage in the marketplace based on short-term supply and demand curves. And so you saw price points run up on everything. Not just 90% silver, mind you, but let's talk historically about some other silver metal that doesn't trade at a very high premium, or actually used to trade at melt or below. And that's things like other types of world silver coinage, Canadian commemorative coins that are 50% pure, 40% US half dollars. All that stuff during COVID went crazy. It took off. And so, you know, whether or not you should buy 90% silver depends on kind of what your goal for it is or why you would get it. He used the word dividend, which makes me think more of an investment platform kind of type of thinking. And my general advice to people is just to buy 1 ounce silver rounds, not to buy 90% silver. But some people really like 90% silver. The reason I recommend just silver rounds is you can just buy 1 ounce at a time. It's easy to know how much silver you have, what it is. It's easy when you give it to somebody to explain to them what they have. Whereas trying to tell somebody that a dime is 0.071 of an ounce, unless it's not, it's kind of a trickier thing to do. And then, you know, how many 0.07s does it take to make a 1? And then there's math, and that just doesn't go well for Americans. So, you know, I'm looking at all this, and I recommend generally just 1 ounce silver. I do know lots of people who still prefer 90% silver coinage, and that's fine. And they collect it and accumulate it, and they like it because it is a smaller denomination. And that's the one thing that they really enjoy about it, is because traditionally silver has been produced mostly in 1 ounce as the smallest unit. Although we're starting to see more and more countries or more private mints produce smaller things like little 1/10 ounce pieces. And the more of this stuff that gets populated, I think the more that you're going to see that stuff become popular in the marketplace over 90% silver coinage. So we'll see. I'm not saying don't buy it, but I'm saying I think generally it's better to buy 1 ounce stuff just because it's easier to understand and pass along to a loved one. Okay. Brian, how many coins does the engineer have in his grading vault? Boy, that's a good question. I'd like to know that, actually. Do they have a typeset of every grade yet? You should get them all reholdered with a special to engineer at OPC label. Can I just say how much I love you guys? This is so funny. Yeah, maybe we should do that. We're going to have like the original engineer OPC grading set for SMS Cameo in Deep Cameo coins. I don't know how many he's got set aside down there, but we'll see someday. Maybe they'll come out. But I will say this, you know, I enjoy having stuff like that available to show people and also to make videos on. And that's why whenever I make, you know, half the point of my unboxing videos is educational. I mean, people like watching unboxing videos because that's the nature of humanity. But also, I like being able to say, okay, let's compare two coins that are similar. Let's just look at why this has a cameo, why this doesn't. What do you think? And you know, it's sometimes it's a lot of splitting hairs, but it's fun. Alrighty, what else we got going on here? Cyborg SMS coins were not minted in Philly. They suspended the use of mint marks from 1965 to 67. They were actually struck at the San Francisco assay office. Now, this is fun because I'm reading this here and remembering I was going to research this, and I didn't. So this is when like the engineer actually puts a subtitle to tell me how wrong I am or how right Cyborg is here. I did not know that those coins were struck in San Francisco. So this is a fantastic learning opportunity for all of us. Also, Cyborg says they were struck at the San Francisco assay office. So, which would not be the San Francisco Mint unless he really means the San Francisco Mint. But this is fascinating. Now I have to find out where SMS coins are struck at. All right. Have you heard anything about the Woolworth Woolco Morgan Peace Dollar rolls, says Daryl. No, I've just heard to stay out of the Woolworth. All right, Steve8318, imagine how much more popular the American Silver Eagle would be if the mint changed the design every year. So we had a video showing off some pandas. The silver pandas have been around for a long time, and they've been changing designs the entire time. And the U.S. Silver Eagle had a main design from starting in '86 that I didn't actually carry all the way to 2021 when they made the design change. There was actually a pretty large design change in 95, where the domed finish came off very different, and the coins went from having a glossy look to a matte look. And but the design elements were the same. It was just the dies were were finished different or were made different so that the coin no longer had the domed finish. So having said that, the main point here is, what are we going to do with design and design change? How would that go? I think if the Silver Eagle changed design every year, it would make the Silver Eagle even more popular than it already is, because I think the people who already collect it and like it, I think you'd get a few more people that, when there are certain issues or years that look more interesting to them, would add extra interest to the series, at least a little bit. So it's an interesting concept, and my biggest concern about that idea is that I just think that the US Mint would find a way to not make really appealing designs. And no offense to the US Mint employees or workers, I know you guys do a lot of really good work over there. I don't know who makes all the decisions on this stuff, honestly. I'm not in the room where it happened, but I would like to be in the room where it happened, because I'd like to know what I don't know, you know? And so if I could sit down and just watch the process and be able to report on it, it would make a lot more sense to me, probably. But also, you know, when I spoke to somebody who worked with the U.S. Bureau of Engraving and Printing about the process of creating the new $100 bill, you know, it really just dawned on me how little control the people who work there have over what happens. You know, they're just doing their job, and someone somewhere else is making decisions. And that's just how the world works, right? So I would love to see really cool Silver Eagle designs that were different. And I'm going to completely talk against something that I've said earlier, which is the way that they reissue coin designs kind of bothers me, because I'm like, make something new. If you're going to start a Silver Eagle design, now I'm not saying, because they're not going to do it anyways, but I'm not saying that you do this exactly. But we have a lot of Eagle designs to work with. I mean, from the US Commem sets. I mean, we have concepts that are out there that you can really start to bring forward a little bit. And using some of that, I have no doubt that the guys that are actually designers and engravers have their own ideas that would look beautiful. But, you know, from my perspective as a collector, I just know that there's a lot of different types of Silver Eagles that you can make that would look radically different one from the other, from anything that's the very traditional heraldic to stuff that's a little bit more Art Deco. You can do all kinds of things and have fun with it. So anyways, guys, thanks so much for joining me today. As always, leave your comments down below. Let me know your thoughts on any of the little subjects and topics we talked about. I'm Ben the Coin Geek, and you can subscribe by clicking on the owl button in the corner and watch more videos on the right side of the screen. Thanks.